I'm Dr. Mollie Marti, and welcome to Resiliency Matters. This is where we take the big resilience research and best practices and break it down into small bite-sized pieces that we can begin using immediately to strengthen ourselves and others. What if you could learn from an internationally renowned educational reformer? Would you spend the next 28 minutes with us? What if in the next 10 minutes you could learn how a headmaster in inner city London used high expectations to take a school from failing to thriving? Would you hang out with us? Who is us? My other half today is Janet Hilary. Janet spent more than a dozen years as a headmaster. She now supports additional schools through her work as CEO of Floreat Education Academies Trust in the UK. There have been documentaries made about her work. You get to view some of those today and hear from Jan herself. Enjoy.
Welcome to St George's Primary School. It's a real honour to have you all here today, and we hope that you have a fantastic day.
I think the essence of St George's is the unshakable belief that no child is going to fail, that they are going to get every single child to proficiency, every single child. And that has been just incredibly motivating and inspirational to think that that actually happens, and I've never seen another place like it.
At the end, it says that her ghost bent down at him.
I think the number one thing that struck me was the leadership and the focus of the leadership. There are no questions asked. You don't guess about anything when you go into St. George's. You know exactly what those teachers need to do.
What we tried to do with St George's when we came was try to make the environment here really lovely for the children. So you can see in the surrounding area that it's very high-rise, it's very industrial, and their homes can be quite troubled as well. So nothing outside we wanted to be reflected inside. And when we first arrived here, school was an exact replica of what was outside. So we worked really hard with the gardener to redesign the gardens and to make sure that the children felt really valued and that they were really important and that their environment reflected that.
What was clear when I came to St George's was, okay, the children were failing in every year group, the school was failing, it was in what we call special measures, which is the category that says this school is completely failing and it needs new leadership, and hence we were here to get it turned around. At the same time, I was working with the children on how we would construct a calm school code. What might that look like? And I wanted it to be something that if you were 3 or if you were 63, I could use the same directives, referencing the Pacific Institute, tell me what it's like when it's right, positive directives. So together we came up with speak nicely, listen carefully, act kindly, move calmly. And every time we believed it better, and the conversations became not if conversations, but how conversations. Every child could succeed, and so that now we're a school where that we have a no excuses culture, and everybody in the school drives with an expectation that every single child is going to get there.
Recited C and then and then he gives it to the space tourist.
Because when you're driving at every child successful, the environment changes, the relationships with children change, the relationships between the professionals change, the relationships between the leaders and the teachers changes, the relationships with the parents changes, because suddenly you realise that your parents are a massive resource for you and they're that child's first teacher, and you want them to be as active and busy, as successful as they can possibly be as that child's first teacher, and you want every conversation to be a learning focused conversation, because all of you are driving after the twin premium of fantastic in the moment opportunities for the children, lesson by lesson in every day, and outcomes that are absolutely risk-free, and then as we say, you're rocking.
And you actually created a code. I saw in the video you put it up on the wall, but tell us about that code, which you said shifts when everyone is in agreement with that, not to is it possible, but how do we achieve this?
The Calm School Code is such a simple code. It exists as 4 positive directives. So just before I go on to the code, to say that I was working with the staff team all the time to say that I wanted us to address all of our challenges through positive mechanisms, because that would mean that we always had motivation and morale, and our well-being would always be in a good place if we were working with positive psychology. And I also knew that would bring the results through quickly. So one of these was, I would hear all the time in the school, stop this, shouted, stop that, and so on and so on. And we were going to change this to tell the child what to do, not what not to do. So we would always be able to say to the child what to do now, and to have that as a trigger. So next time, what will you do when this situation arises again? So the child had the right choice ready to go next time. So we wouldn't be on a constant having to reteach it. So I actually worked with the children on what might the 4 positive directives be, and they came out with speak nicely, listen carefully, act kindly, move calmly. I mean, you can hear it's quite child-friendly language, but we knew we'd hit on it, because whether the children were 3 or if I was in the playground or out on the street with their mums or grandmas, I could use the same language. Mum, speak nicely to me because I'm going to help. And it worked every time. And it's sustained 14 years on, it's still they're working, and it's sustained. And the test of anything that you approach that you take in a school is whether it lasts.
Tool number 1, it is possible for every single child to thrive. Create this expectation for each child in your life. You can watch the whole From Crisis to Calm documentary. It's about a half hour long at this Vimeo address, or just visit our blog at nationalresilienceinstitute.org, and we have the videos there. What must you understand in order to truly connect to a child? Stay tuned.